Health Secretary Matt Hancock revealed today that proposals are being looked at to target companies with sanctions if they fail to make their workplaces safe. Mr. Hancock told Sky News plans have already been drawn up. As the UK continues to fight against the global pandemic, the government is looking at ways to continue to enforce social distancing as talk of lifting lockdown restrictions take place. Mr. Hancock said, "There are discussions about those and there's a draft set of proposals, but I don't want to prejudge those discussions that Alok Sharma is leading with the unions. There's already rules in place that we've brought in to deal with the crisis. It's about how we make sure that the rules that exist and the guidance that exists both work practically on the ground for employers and also keeps people safe." The health secretary went on to add it is critical for employers to offer safe workplaces, and said talks are ongoing with firms and trade unions. He added, "It's critical that employers offer safe workplaces. We've been working with employers large and small and the trade unions in getting these details right. As and when more people get back to work, there's guideline and rules in place so workplaces can have safe distancing and social distancing in the workplace." Mr. Hancock's comments come after a number of trade unions hit out at the non-binding guidelines allowing employers to decide when it's safe. The TUC union, which represents around 5.5 million Britons, threatened staff could refuse to go back to work if companies were not forced to make safe working environments. General Secretary Francis O'Grady said, "Without a big shift from the government, when lockdown eases, bad bosses will be able to expose their workers, and all of us, to infection without fear of consequences. Any actions they fail to take will impact the rates of infection in the areas where they're located. This is why ministers must require every employer with more than 5 employees to go further and publish their risk assessment and action plan on their own website and a government portal." The GMB Union General Secretary John Phillips added, "The guidance has to be clear on how safe working practice is to be enforced. As it stands, there is nothing on PPE, nothing on enforcement to ensure workplaces are safe and nothing giving workers the assurances they need to get back to their jobs. In its current form, this guidance does not adequately protect workers from COVID-19 exposure and as a result many may refuse to work to avoid putting themselves and their families at risk." According to New Office for National Statistics (ONS) figures, the UK has overtaken Italy's coronavirus death toll. There were 29,710 deaths involving coronavirus in England and Wales up to April 24, including 5,890 in care homes, ONS data shows. The total is higher than Italy's toll, which stands at 29,079. The ONS total is 34% higher than the 22,173 reported by the government for the same period. This is because the ONS figures include all mentions of COVID-19 on a death certificate and are based on the date that deaths occurred. The Department of Health figures are based on when deaths were reported and are for deaths where a person has been tested positive for COVID-19. The Prime Minister is expected to deliver a roadmap to easing the restrictions in an address to the nation on Sunday. The announcement will follow the government's compulsory 3-week review of social distancing measures on Thursday.